I'm not done with Series 11 yet on my channel. A review of the New Year special titled Resolution, though like a lot of fans I hope that the rest of the title is Of the Daleks. Hello faithful watchers and Happy New Year, and welcome to my review of the Doctor Who New Year special Resolution, written by showrunner Chris Chibnall and directed by Wayne Yip. Now as usual there will be spoilers for this episode, so check out the episode first and then come back here. All caught up? Let's get a shift on then. New Year's Day 2019, an archaeological dig of a buried artefact from the 9th century, which the Doctor discovers is the most dangerous creature in the universe, a Dalek. The Dalek hopes to rebuild itself and call the rest of the fleet to cause an invasion of Earth. The Doctor must gather all her friends and resources to prevent another invasion, and if they fail, the Daleks are coming. This is the first New Year special since The End of Time Part 2, and has more or less replaced the traditional Christmas special that Doctor Who has had since 2005. I initially thought that this was a bad move, as Doctor Who usually gets its highest ratings of the year because of the Christmas specials, though considering how naff the ratings were for the BBC on Christmas Day this year, maybe Doctor Who would have suffered as well. And having looked at the ratings for this one and comparing it to other programmes, it's clear that not many people were tuning into the TV around the holidays. However, on Christmas Day the new trailer dropped, indeed confirming that the Daleks would be back in the New Year special. When I heard that famous exterminate, I and a lot of other fans got excited and hyped. The villains for Series 11 have been very lacking this year, and I was hoping that we'd see more villains from the past that a lot of fans and audience members are familiar with. But does Resolution deliver even with its selling point of the Daleks returning? The answer for the most part is yes. Our TARDIS team this episode had a lot of time to shine, with Ryan, in my opinion, taking the best moments. Now the biggest revelation for him this episode was seeing his dad Aaron again, played by David Adegboyega. I hope I pronounced that right. Throughout Series 11 we've been given hints and build-up as to what sort of a man Ryan's dad is. He wasn't at Grace's funeral, he had Ryan at a very young age and is considered to be a letdown despite often trying his best. Obviously the best scene for me, well for Ryan, was the cafe scene. I liked how the editing and camera cuts slowed down and we were able to see both actors' expressions, and I think Tosin and David really knocked it out of the park in this scene. I loved Ryan standing up to his dad, and despite not seeing him for ages and still being a relatively young man, he was in complete control of the conversation. He laid down the ground on what he wanted from his dad. It really shows how his confidence has grown since the start of his time on the series. Scared his disability will hold him back, losing Grace, his nan, but being with the Doctor he's seen wonderful things and has really grown, I think, as a character. Great stuff. As for Graham, I felt he didn't have a lot to do when compared to Ryan, but if there's one word I could use to describe him in this episode, it's closure. Out of all the companions this series, I felt Graham is the one who had his potential fulfilled the most. Last time he learnt that vengeance doesn't solve anything, and throughout the series he's wanted to get closer to Ryan since the death of Grace, and he achieved that now. Ryan is proud to call Graham his granddad, or Gramps. But if I had to pick out a standout moment for him, it was when he conversed with Aaron about Grace, who, being Aaron's mum, gave Aaron life and was always proud of him no matter his mistakes. I've loved Bradley Walsh this series, but I personally hope that for Series 12 he becomes a semi-recurring character, like we had with, say, Jackie Tyler or Wilfred Mott. Have him appear when the Doctor and companions come back to Earth, come back to Sheffield, and that way it solves the overcrowded TARDIS problem we've been experiencing. Speaking of the overcrowded TARDIS problem, I felt Yaz again was underused. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm criticising the same problems over and over again, but I critique because I care. Again, Mandip Gill gave a good performance, but I can't name many memorable moments about her this episode. Don't get me wrong, she's had moments to shine throughout the series, like in Rosa, Demons, and Kablam, but personally she's been my least favourite companion this year. For Series 12, as I said, keep Ryan and Yaz on the TARDIS and have Graham be a semi-recurring character. That way I think Yaz could shine a lot more. This TARDIS team I've really liked so far, but personally some of these problems need to be ironed out for Series 12. As for the Doctor this week, well, I'd go as far as to say that this is her best performance as the Doctor so far. I think having her face a recognisable enemy that she and we the audience are familiar with really allowed us to be in her shoes. It was hard to pick a Jodie Whittaker moment of the week for this episode because I was caught between two. But because I'm nice, I'm going to choose two, and surprise, surprise, they both involve the Dalek. Her first scene that really stood out to me was when she got the hologram of the controlled Lynn to appear inside the TARDIS. The Dalek was taunting her over the radio about being unable to stop her. She quickly turned the hologram on and simply said, "Say that to my face." You can tell the Doctor meant business here, keeping it together, but you can tell there was a lot of rage underneath her. I also loved how she used the hologram to speak to the possessed Lynn as well, and reassured her that they'd be coming for her and helping her no matter what. The way the episode showed the Doctor's anger and compassion all in the same scene without it feeling like a huge tonal shift was very impressive for me. Her second best moment for me was when she met the Dalek for the first time, eye to eye stalk, so to speak. Putting the Dalek down as it's made out of junk and thinking how they're going to defeat humanity when human beings have faced the worst of their own kind. When she said, "You want this planet? You gotta go through me." I loved that. It shows that this Doctor is confident in her plans and always a reassuring presence for the viewers at home. These are my two favourite moments from her this episode, and I look forward to more moments like this hopefully in Series 12. Now, of course, the big selling point of this episode was the Daleks returning, and I really liked the way they were utilised here. I liked having the Dalek mutant being out of its shell and still being extremely deadly, which we don't see as much on the series before, and I liked how it was explored here. Furthermore, there is the question of the new design we had for this episode, and personally, while I wouldn't like this as, say, a permanent design change if they came back in Series 12 and they all look like this, I realised this was kind of the point of it. The Dalek had rebuilt itself from bits and pieces, anything it could find, so of course it was going to look like a Mr. All-Sorts Dalek. I'm totally copywriting that name, by the way. When the Dalek was in its shell, I felt that this was a force to be reckoned with. This Dalek took no prisoners and just massacred everything and anything that wasn't a Dalek, and wouldn't stop till it completed its mission. I had a massive smile on my face when it was shooting soldiers. Pure bliss to see the Daleks a force to be reckoned with again. Though I've heard that this makes the Daleks apparently too powerful.
You serious?
Apparently they are, Jameson. Before I move on to my next point, I do want to mention that Nick Briggs did an amazing job as the voice of the Daleks. Hearing that awesome Dalek voice was music to my ears. The supporting cast were also pretty good this episode. I liked how we got to know Mitch and Lynn, played by Nikesh Patel and Charlotte Ritchie respectively. I liked their relationship and getting together after a New Year kiss. The info about Lynn always having her phone on, and that's when they realise something's wrong when she doesn't answer it. I thought that was kind of a nice trait. It showed that they, recognise each other and that they're really good together. I genuinely wanted to see them get together, and I even felt bad for Lynn when she was taken over by the Dalek. I loved the Doctor reassuring Lynn that it wasn't her fault and how strong she is for being able to survive an encounter with a Dalek, further elevating their status as a threat. I really liked Mitch's reaction to this interior, still keeping that magic about this wonderful machine, because if you don't have those kind of reactions, it kind of diminishes the idea that this is the most powerful, most wonderful ship in the universe. Now, as I said earlier, I really enjoyed David Adiga-Boyega as Aaron, and I've mentioned his best scene with Ryan before, but I do want to mention the ending when the Dalek attached itself to him and was nearly thrown into a supernova. Some have argued that Aaron should have died, but if anything, I don't think he should have. I think it was alright for him to live. Ryan saving his dad, it shows that he's really forgiven him. It wouldn't have added much to Ryan's character had Aaron died, because he's already lost a relative, and I don't think he needed to lose another to become stronger from this. The direction by Wayne Yip was also superb. He had previously directed episodes of Class. Other than the 5 people that watched that, it was a Doctor Who spin-off broadcast in late 2006. But he also directed Series 10 episodes such as The Lie of the Land and Empress of Mars. The latter I can remember looking really good, and he equally did a good job here. The action scenes were fantastic. I liked how there was a use of slow-mo when the soldiers were shot down, further prolonging the agony of a Dalek death ray, and the action scenes for a TV budget, anyway, looked pretty good. I particularly loved the disorientation effect when Lynn was possessed by the Dalek, the almost delirious state the picture was in, like we were in Lynn's mind as she was being taken over by this creature. If there was stuff I didn't like, it would be the pacing. At times, particularly when we had scenes with Aaron, the episode slowed down a bit. I can appreciate them doing this for character moments, but it kind of dragged a little. The Wi-Fi being shut down, I thought was a fine idea, but they just kept padding it out with a stupid joke, and it just ended with a family not knowing what to do because there's no internet. Yeah, by the time you got to the family, it had already become annoying and dead on arrival. Don't have your cake and eat it. Now, the biggest issue a lot of people had was the exclusion of UNIT, the explanation being that they're simply not there because of the lack of alien invasions in recent years. Now, I find that a bit hard to buy, as there's always going to be threats to Earth no matter what. Just think about all the times when the Doctor hasn't been there. Pretty silly to me, but there's no need to get really, really annoyed about it. It's not like a certain showrunner once got rid of the Time Lords in 2005, was it? However, overall, the execution was very choppy, and it was handled almost like a cheap joke. But maybe UNIT will come back in Series 12. Who knows? Now we're on to the section of what did you guys think? I usually put out a tweet on Twitter asking people for their thoughts on the episode. That I'll include here. So let's have a look. Now we have got one here. This is from TARDIS. He says, best Dalek story since Bad Wolf / Departing of the Ways actually does something new with the Daleks and shows that even at its most vulnerable, this Dalek is still the most dangerous creature in the universe. Yeah, I agree there, apart from the opening statement. I do think this is a really good Dalek story. Personally though, I actually preferred Into the Dalek from Series 8 over this, but yeah, Bad Wolf and the Departing of the Ways, that is a phenomenal Dalek story, you are right there. But yeah, I do like that, even when it's out of its shell, it's still capable of being horrible and deadly. Yeah, which I think really, it keeps the threat up there, I think, rather than just diminishing them with jokes. But yeah, I do agree there, and thank you for your tweet. Simon Pittman says, getting rid of certain group is something that I hope they address next series. Enjoyed the episode and the Dalek design. Yes, hopefully they do address that in Series 12, the lack of UNIT. Yeah, I hope so. I did enjoy the episode as well, I do agree with you there. The Dalek design, yeah, I did really like it. It almost looked like a Blue Peter winner competition, but not as bad as the one we had. But yeah, I do like this design. If this was a permanent one, I wouldn't really like it that much, but because it's made of bits and pieces, I can forgive it. Yeah, I agree there. Thank you for your tweet. And that's all. It's the latest Doctor Who episode review for a while, because there's no Doctor Who this year, unless we get a Christmas special in December. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do these reviews again when Series 12 comes round. So, to conclude, Resolution is a fun, action-packed episode that balances action and character moments very well, and it's great to see the Doctor's deadliest enemy restored to greatness once again. While it may not reach the heights of other Dalek stories, it's still great fun for the Doctor's final adventure of the 2010s. For now, at least. Well, everyone, that's all from me. Be sure to like and share. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the episode. And I shall see you all next time for more videos coming in 2019. Goodbye.